Hi, I'm Shauna Hayes, and I'm the owner of a small business in Nelson, BC, Lightfield EMF Solutions. And I'm here today to talk a little bit to the RDCK environmental plan, and with hopes of including electromagnetic pollution as an aspect for consideration. I trained as an audio engineer in Toronto in the mid-90s, and while studying sound waves, I became very interested in all frequencies and how they affect humans. These days, I'm looking mostly at man-made electromagnetic fields with a look at environmental protection. Carbon emissions are only part of the unseen pollution that surrounds us, and we need to expand our consciousness to include electromagnetic fields as a form of pollution and begin to formulate solutions early on in respect to climate change strategies. So I'm going to start with some basics. There's 4 types of electrical pollution that can infect the environment and all the living beings therein. These forms of non-ionizing or low-level radiation can be found in varying degrees in almost every home, business, or property that I've had the opportunity to measure in our region. Because wireless pollution seems to be at the forefront these days, I'll show some examples of how wireless technology has been introduced and expanded in the last 10 years in Nelson. Since 2014, I've been taking readings at several places in the downtown core of Nelson to monitor changes. These are my results. In 2013, the World Health Organization classified electromagnetic fields of the kind used in mobile phones as Group 2B carcinogens, in other words, possibly cancerous. Although not acknowledging that hypersensitivity to electromagnetic fields is caused by EMF exposure, they did define EHS as a phenomenon where individuals experience adverse health effects while using or being in the vicinity of devices emanating electromagnetic or electromagnetic fields. Some of the symptoms reported by electrosensitive people include in Canada, exposure to EMFs are regulated by Health Canada's Safety Code 6. There are no actual laws which control the level of EM radiation that we're exposed to. Only this set of guidelines, which many consider to be based on outdated research models. In other words, how hot does your skin get? Very short exposure times, 6 minutes, and whose exposure allowances set a speed limit that no one will ever break. 10 million microwatts per meter squared. This level was established by the International Commission of Non-Ionizing Radiation Protection, but as you saw from that slide, it was never adopted by many countries, including Russia and China, both who have been utilizing wireless technology since the 1930s and 40s. You will note, though, although Canada's levels stay impossibly high, that Toronto's are in fact 100 times less than were set out in Safety Code 6. This was accomplished in 2008 when the Board of Health recommended that City Hall adopt a policy of prudent avoidance, along with the antenna siting protocols and upgrades for 5G in towers under 5 meters. While Innovation, Science and Economic Development Canada is the approver of telecommunications infrastructure, its review process acknowledges the importance of antenna systems being deployed with consideration of local context. This means that each municipality in our region can adopt antenna siting protocols and policies to accommodate for the geographical and population needs within their own city, and to set healthier, more reasonable limits on the amount of electropollution that is generated by telecom and media companies. For example, in some regions, the protocols allow the city to levy a tax on the corporations who wish to provide their service to offset the cost of mitigating this type of pollution on surrounding structure and public spaces. Precautionary principles can also be adopted with new guidelines in environmental decision-making, including 4 central components: taking preventative action in the face of uncertainty, shifting the burden of proof to the proponents of the activity, exploring a wide range of alternatives to possibly harmful actions, and increasing public participation in decision-making. I think the RDCK plans need to be expanded to consider electromagnetic pollution as an environmental protection issue, as most of the energy and transportation goals will require massive upgrades to local power utilities and infrastructure. All new wireless and digital technology, especially electric cars, will require electricity and the means to deliver it. To quote the RDCK's work plan, the success of the RDCK climate action depends on meaningful community engagement and collaboration, partnerships that build creative, innovative opportunities to make changes and try out ideas. I agree with this and would like to offer my support to the RDCK's stated leadership and operational goals, which state: to collect corporate and community energy and carbon pollution data and update it regularly, to develop a RDCK asset management plan with a climate resilience lens, integrate mitigation and adaptation considerations into the asset management plan, require all RDCK board decisions to include an assessment of climate impacts. I believe that all of the citizens can be empowered with the implementation of the climate plan. I think that we can take these antenna siting protocols and precautionary principles to our municipalities with an expectation that they will partner with us to make sure responsible implementation of any plan that affects our energy systems, our transportation systems, and electromagnetic and/or carbon pollution. If you would like a copy of the templates for the antenna siting protocols or the prudent avoidance policies, please visit my website at lightfieldemfsolutions.com.